Hello lovelies, hello family, and welcome. This is Kimberly Purpoz and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do another YouTube video talking about another Indian tribe. This time I wanted to talk about the Taino Indians. I came across this particular article on Instagram. Sometimes I go on Instagram a lot, and I sort of found the link to this particular article, and I thought it was quite interesting, and I never got a chance to talk about the Taino Indians, so I thought that this would be a great video to share with you all, a good topic. But before we start, I wanted to talk to you about my business. This is my website, Purpoz Wellness. I'm going through some changes and transitions, you all. I'll keep you guys posted. Y'all going to see some minor changes, but this is the website to my channel, to my business, and this is how you can reach me. We utilize a blending of holistic approaches that stimulates the mind, body, and spirit. The modalities we use are person-centered therapy focused, solution-focused, psychoeducational intervention, CBT, hypnotherapy, interpersonal therapy, and many different forms of art therapy. Purpoz Wellness also offers therapeutic techniques such as meditation, breathing exercise, Reiki, yoga nidra, and we also provide affordable in-service, not in-service, but telehealth services. Right now we're not doing in-service because of COVID, but we are providing telehealth services. Give us a call today. Alright, so now y'all know how to reach me. I want to show you all my Instagram page. I'm right here. It's under Kimberly Purpoz, just like here on YouTube. Please stop by and follow me there. Also, I wanted to share with you all my new Anchor page. I did my first Anchor post, and so y'all can check me out over here as well on Anchor. I'll be putting up some some posts, some podcasts there. I'll try to do at least once or every other one, either once a week or every other week. So y'all can check me out there. So let's get right to it, you guys. Let me get to this article. It says here, this article comes from the St. Thomas source, U.S. Virgin Islands. This is a publication, and it was published fairly recently, just this month on February 2nd, and was written by Amy H. Roberts. I love this picture, you guys, and see, this is what I love to see right here, the pictures of the original Indians. Oftentimes we don't get a chance to see that, especially when you Google search and look on Google what the original Indians look like. But this is what the Paleo Indians look like. It says the Macapan Phillips, surrounded by members of her family, speak about their Taino heritage. And it says screenshot from video made for the National Guard. So I thought this was quite interesting. Now, when I mean this is what the Aboriginal Indians look like originally. But when you Google search, you don't see that. You see these types of Indians right here. The paler looking or gray-washed version of it. But this is not an accurate depiction of what the original Taino Indians look like, but they overlook it. It doesn't show what they look like, but in this article they show you exactly what it look like, and which I really appreciate. They showed the Aboriginal version of it. There was two groups of Indians, the Clovis and the Paleo Indians. The Paleo Indians are the Aboriginal Indians. The Clovis Indians are the Mongoloids. And sometimes you might see a slight variation in mixture of both groups together, and that's why you see people with with the straighter looking hair, but or the mixed unique blending. But these people in this picture have the beautiful woolly woven hair that I was talking to you about. This is what the dark melee skin and the woolly hair, the afros. And so, yeah, and that's what the Paleo Indians look like. Okay, we have to get rid of all these myths that we oftentimes see in the media and also throughout social media that's constantly showing the gray wash version, or, they only want to show either the Mongoloid Indians or a paler looking Indian and not show the truth of what the indigenous people actually really look like. But anyway, this article says during the first week of January, Governor Albert Bryan vetoed 6 bills, among them, and Bill number 33-0364, which sought to create a Virgin Island Indigenous Tribe identification card for those who was identified as Taino, Carib, Kalinago, or any other Caribbean indigenous groups. The governor's veto engendered the little public conversation, but it was a setback for Mayor Kai Pan Phillips at St. Thomas Women, who has been pushing the Virgin Islands government for tribal recognition for 8 years. Wow, that's been a while. See, and that's what they do. They don't want to give you the recognition for it. One way they do that is not denying access to the original people. And that's what they've done here in the mainlands as well. They have the civilized tribe, so they say, and they're identified as being indigenous, even though most of them look like the Pale Indians, the $5 Indians, and the ones that look like me and with the woolly hair and the dark skin are oftentimes pushed aside and disregarded. And they want to classify you as black, which don't have no real standing, you guys. But it says here Phillips has been named a cacique, cacique in Spanish, or chief of the Taino tribe of Virgin Islands, the first named chief in the Virgin Islands in hundreds of years. We thought it's best to link our tribal name to our Taino brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico. And then it says, also link us back to the Amazon and Venezuelans, she said. And I think that's neat. And it's sad that they gained some resistance there. But then it says here, for those who are familiar with the term Taino, it refers to the Arawakan speaking people of the Caribbean who arrived from South America over the course of 4,000 years, according to National Geographic. And if they came from South America, I did a video about the Paleo Indians a while back about the research that was done by archaeologists showing that the bones that were down there were not Mongoloid, they were the Australianoids. And they came from South America and they worked their way up north because they came across the Pacific, because they had a way of traveling by boat. If y'all want to check that out, y'all can check out my video. I go into detail about that. But it says here in Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and now the Virgin Islands, the term Taino is generally preferred over the term Arawak. Okay, which is interesting. And it says the second is a series of Taino culture and history as it relates to the Virgin Islands. It says for many, many years, Miss Phillips and her husband, Mr. Phillips, and their 12 children have worked tirelessly to prove their native ancestry, obtain federal tribal recognition, and share their culture and heritage with others, said Susan Dorrough, an educator who assists Phillips in her efforts to gain tribal recognition. So she's been going through a lot. And so just like over here, if you look a certain way, they don't want to include you in it, And that's by design because they want to keep the narrative going that they brought all black folks, the Paleo Indians, or they want to declassify you as being the original people and want to keep this false narrative, fairy tale that they have about the slave ships coming over from Africa. And so, and by denouncing or trying to discredit the original people, this is how they do it. That through paper genocide, not acknowledging it, and then destroying the paperwork, and then not acknowledging it, and then only giving it to a certain group that look pale, more Caucasian looking, or they look mongoloid, and they use the mongoloid as a way to try to squeeze themselves in there to keep the original people from getting anything. And they do this as a justification for stealing lands from the original people. That's the bottom line. That's their tactic. But he says here, Phillips has gathered islands residents for ceremonies, made presentations for schools, children's, and community groups, and established nonprofit group. And it says OPEC, Taino, Internationals is also a mission to promote the restoration and respect of education and spirit of Taino, Arawaks, Carib, and other indigenous cultural heritage, history, art, and science and traditions. And then we stroll down here on August 2017, Phillips held a powwow at St. Thomas on the 10th anniversary to establish by the United Nations of International Day of the whole indigenous people. I think this is beautiful. And it says among her supporters was retired Senator Myron Jackson, who has acknowledged his own indigenous roots, which is wonderful. And more of us needs to do that. And I think it's great that she has a World Indigenous Peoples Day. I believe that needs to be done more among the mainlands, and I think it's slowly taking place. And unfortunately, COVID sort of put a standstill on some stuff, but hopefully after all of this blows over, we'll be able to see more of these taking place, But it says here, on the day we reflect the sacrifices of the indigenous people of the Virgin Islands who survived against all attempts to decimate them in many instances, and we have made their lasting impressions upon our society. Some of us have stories passed down through oral history of our ancestry, Jackson said, and the day is in statement. Today we stand in gratitude for the strength and courage of our descendants who continue to keep their traditions alive. And I think it's great. The more you speak about it, the more you share. That's why I was telling everybody, share your, do your family tree. Talk to your elders. Do your genealogy. Share your stories. And that's what we did with my family. We put together a book of our family tree, and we shared among our family members. And so everybody can keep the knowledge and the stories alive. And that's very important. And I love this artwork. Beautiful, beautiful artwork of the indigenous people. It says here, the Taino rock carvings can be found in the Reef Bay of St. John. And the photo is by Ken Wow. Okay, that is so neat. And then let's draw on down. It says Jackson made multiple attempts to enact legislation granting recognition of indigenous heritage among Virgin Islanders, but each failed. Proposed bills died committee in 2014 and 16. In September 2020, and the Senate Committee of Culture, History, Preservation, and Aging approved Bill number 33-0364, and the measure was then passed by the full Senate. And so, yeah. And like I said, this is not uncommon. This goes on in the mainlands as well. And like I said, the whole point of this is to keep certain groups from having indigenous status. And then when they do that, they can do things like steal land rights and go through and hoard resources. And that's the whole point. That's how the whole great systemic system is designed. And then it says here, Governor vetoed the bill in January. What is up with these people? It's like they don't want to pass it. They need to get them out of office. And it says, this issue unfortunately has been abused by certain peoples claiming to be sovereign nations who claim they are not subject to law of the United States of America or territory. Brian said the matter means critical discussion and redrafting. It makes sense, because what's happening is they're going to have the $5 Indians like they do over here, and do the same thing. The Paleolithic Indians, the people who are not the original, try to claim heritage and then get money and land rights and more resources. That's why it's so important to be able to identify who you are. Because this is the gray washing that I'm talking about, and it's sad this is happening right now, right before our very eyes. We've been fighting this battle for a very long time, since colonization. But it says here, Byron said that the legislation before him lacked sufficient definition required for providing proof of qualification, strict requirements for Indigenous people organization to identify members, and limitation to the use of identification card or any perceived rights beyond identification. Oh, this is so sad, you guys. They are really trying to hold on to their identity and culture, and this is what they do. It's so sad. And it says here, and then when you go over here, this is what they do. They gray wash the Taino people, like this picture here, making them look like a Caucasian, very pale looking skin, a gray wash version of it. And this is how they erase the history. You see that picture right there, and that's what you see them doing. That's what they're actually doing. They trying to gray wash the history books to make it look like they're either Mongoloid here. Discredit the fact that, ignore the fact that the Aboriginals were already here. They were the original people. And what they do is they put the Apello version of the story up. Because of what they want to do. And see, here go another one. Mongoloid. She look more Mongoloid. These parallel lighter fair-skinned Indians that they're trying to do. You would think that they're the only people here, and that's what they do. They want to put only the Mongoloid Indians. They were the second wave, the Clovis people. They weren't the first ones here. Research, scientists, everything has been proven that. And you don't see not one Indian hardly up here with the woven hair. I see one. This is the only one I can find right here. You do a search. This is it. Now, he looks more like the Indigenous people. Like, this is what the original Taino people probably look like. With the woolly hair woven into locks and braids. So, twists and locks, and they totally disregard that. They write the codes like, we don't deny the Clovis people being here. They were here. And at least they're showing them, but they are ignoring the fact that there were people that were here prior to them, prior to the Now here go another one. She might be one of the Taino people, a little more like her. Now this is more of an accurate picture, but they constantly put the Mongoloids or the pale looking ones that look almost Caucasian, because they, like I said, they trying to gray wash the history and then want to say, oh, the Taino people, they were no Paleo Indians. They were just that we brought black folks over from Africa, and then they want to just push you off like you weren't even here when you were. So it's like that's what they do, and they want to classify the original people as being black and not having no rights to their own land. And this is pretty much a way of hijacking and stealing the lands of the Indigenous people, and doing it right now. And it says here, this is a pre-colonial artifact found in St. John's. And see here, a picture, and then you see the Negroid features. And then it says here, Phyllis responding to understand that Governor Bryan is being cautious, and by right he should be. I realized the innocence of the bill and start back in 2012 was tainted, and I heard many of the testifiers of the vision of Puerto and the Taino tribe of the Virgin Islands got caught up in something that we had nothing to do with. Okay, and then we're going to stroll on down. You see how long this article is. I don't want to take up too much time. Okay, this is sort of long. I might skip down a little bit. I mean, it's talking about them going back and forth with the governor, the people in politics, were trying to pass this, this bill that, that will help the indigenous people, be able to claim their indigenous heritage and their rights. But I'm going to scroll on down. It says here, as the governor pointed out, there were genuine questions regarding how the DNA would be required for individual identified Taino and qualified membership of the tribe. Everybody know the DNA is not accurate, especially these DNA tests that they are publishing. It's already slanted and biased. The whole point of DNA is to classify all the original people as African and not recognize the distinct group, the Paleo Indians, as being here too. And it's a way of labeling group as black and taking them all, not having any rights to their lands. And the more accurate one is through genealogy. That's what they need to be using, but they're not. They're using this fake DNA. They placing all natives under Asians, the Mongoloid Indians only, and that's why you don't see the original people with the African DNA, who are the Paleo Indians, on there, because they don't even include them as being indigenous. They just attach them to Africa, and ignore the fact that Africans was already over here as the Paleo Indians. They are the Australian whites. But whole nother ball game. And so this is it's not going to prove anything with that, especially if it's already been racially biased with this particular DNA. And plus, it's not even accurate. They say it's based on, it's like an entertainment type test. That's not even accurate. There's no way you can trace your roots through the DNA. It's like astrology, that's what they say. But anyway, it says Elizabeth Warren preferred her own native ancestry during referred to her own native ancestry during the 2012 campaign Senate. And everybody know I did a video on Elizabeth Warren. She's a Caucasian. She's not Indian. You can't go 20 generations down, 30 generations down, and say that you're Indian just because you're 20th line down of your ancestry was an Indian. That has been completely graywash. You only have maybe 1% Indian in you, Aboriginal. Just because you got one little drop, that doesn't mean, in her case, a speck, not even a speck, blonde hair and blue eyes. She's a Caucasian woman. She's not an Aboriginal. And so I did a video on that. Y'all can check that out. And she's not an Indian. And that's what I'm talking about. She's one of the $5 Indians claiming indigenous heritage. And it says here, and she shouldn't even be saying anything. She needs to sit down. And then she's doing these $5 Indians. The reason why they want to claim them is because they want to get resources and they get money. They go to school for free and they get land rights for free without even being indigenous. They're more Caucasian, and that's like getting double dipping, getting extra, and then why the original people don't get anything. Their resources are constantly being getting hijacked and stolen by the Caucasians and by the Greys, pretty much. And so they don't get anything. The Mongols might get a little something, then the Caucasian get everything. And it's like, and then the original people is a way to keep the original people from getting anything and keeping them at the very bottom of resources. And then it says here the 2012 campaign of the U.S. Senate is latched onto, and in 2016, then presidential campaign Donald Trump used it to ridicule her with her nickname Pocahontas, which is he just exposing her for her hypocrisy. How she's taking resources from the indigenous people when she's actually a Caucasian. You can't go just because 20 generations down a long time ago, you had one Indian or might be Mongoloid Indian in your family, and and maybe in the 1700s or something like that, and then now you're trying, or early 1800s, and then now you're in 2000 saying, "Oh, I'm Indian." No, you can't do that. You're a Caucasian, especially if you know you're blonde hair, blue eyes. You don't even look like an Indian anymore. You know, because it's been you don't have Indian in you. You're a Caucasian woman. But I can go on and on about that. Y'all check out that video. It says, finally recognize the U.S. tribe has the authority to pass some laws and enforce them on tribal lands. It is now clear of the Virgin Islands government has the right to grant a subset of U.S. citizens any governmental power without the explicit congressional authority any more than the USB1 could recognize the St. John as an independent country. And it says here, Phillips had hoped that passing the legislation will move the conversation about the tribal recognition forward. She planned to continue her attempt to mobilize around the issue. And then it says, Taino Today, Part 1. Oh, and here go Part 1. I may go back and do Part 1 with you all. I'm going to go back and do Part 1. I just want to get Part 2 to you all. I'll probably do another video and share it with you all. But I just want to go over this more recent video, this more recent article that just came out, and I want to share it with you all. But I want to see what you all think. What do you think about the Taino people have the originals going back and forth over their identity? What do y'all think of that? This is the accurate picture of what the indigenous people actually look like. Do you think it's a reflection of what happened here in the mainlands? I personally think so. And it shows how it's still happening to this very day. It's a form of paper genocide still. This is a tactic that they use by discrediting the indigenous people of their heritage, stripping away the erasure. This is how they do it. It's a tactic that they use. So, yeah, please thumbs up this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share it. Till next time, love and peace, family. Bye-bye.